Okay, so let's do a quick review of Ixl level J K2. Before you start on Ixl, we're going to watch this quick little video just to refresh your memory on a few things, starting with terminology. A ratio is a comparison of two numbers. Often it's expressed as a fraction, but it doesn't have to be. And then more specifically, a rate is a type of ratio, but in which we're measuring two different things. So not just a ratio of 5 to 6, let's say, but a ratio of 10 miles in 2 hours. So we've got different things that we're measuring. A unit rate is an even more specific situation in which the second number, or the bottom number in the case of a fraction, is a 1. So instead of 20 miles in 2 hours, we might say a unit rate is 10 miles in 1 hour. And then the most specific situation is with respect to consumer thoughts and decisions we might make about purchases and so forth. In comparing what's a better buy, we want to know what the unit price is. And so when we use a unit price, it's a type of unit rate in which we're comparing the price, usually in dollars, but not always, usually dollars though, per one unit, ounce, pound, package, etc. So this is the first type of example you'll see as you tackle Ixl J K2. They'll give you a price, and they'll give you how many items you're buying for that price, and your job will be to convert the ratio, let me make this red, convert the ratio $13.72 for 7 batteries into a ratio that'll tell us how many dollars that is for 1 battery. This is pretty easy to do. We're not going to do long division by hand. In this case, it just doesn't make any sense when we've all got calculators at the ready. So we're going to do 13.72 divided by 7. And that'll, if I divide the top number by the bottom number, that'll always turn what I'm dealing with into a unit rate. And so if I take a calculator and I go and I'm going to use my calculator on my phone here as we're sitting here making this recording. And I'm going to take 1372 and I'm going to divide that by 7. I'm going to do the math that I'm basically showing you right here. When I hit enter, I get $1.96. Oops, pen. 196. And what this means, this 196 to 1, is that it's $1.96 for 1 battery. So when I'm doing this in Ixl, I'll go in here and type 1.96 and hit enter. And everything should work out just fine. This one's almost the same exact thing, except that it's not batteries anymore, it's candles. So again, we're trying to convert $4.55 for 5 into a ratio, or a rate, a unit price, I should say, of how many dollars and cents, how much money it would cost for just one of those. Again, thank you, calculator. We're going to do 455 and divide that by 5. But before we do, we might want to consider this. What if I didn't have a calculator and I just was trying to ballpark or estimate how much it should cost per one? So I'm going to put an Edpuzzle question in here for you. If you've got $4.55 for 5, will it cost you more than $1 or less than $1 for 1 candle? Well, when we do the calculation, we type in 4.55 divided by 5, and we know from our estimation that it's got to be less than $1. Turns out that it's actually only 91 cents. So again, that means that the price per candle is either $0.91 per candle, which is another way of saying 91/100ths of $1, or 91 cents. And I don't think Ixl is going to care whether or not you include that 0. I don't think it's going to be that picky for you. All right, last one. Before we start, let's just do a little estimation again. Let's think about this. If it costs me $1.48 for 4 pounds, $1.48 for 4 pounds of cat food, will it cost me more than $1 or less than $1 to buy just 1 pound of cat food? Well, we know from estimation that that's got to be less than $1, and it turns out when I type in 148 or $1.48, 1.48 divided by 4 on the calculator, I get that that is actually only 37 cents per pound. So again, I don't know that the zero is necessary, but I always like to include it. I don't want anyone to miss that decimal point, so the zero helps people see it. And so 37 cents, or more technically, mathematically speaking, 37 hundredths of $1 per 1 pound. This should be pretty easy for you. If you have trouble as you work through it, don't be shy. Raise your hand. I'll come around and give you some help.